Oh, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just got back from the Everyone knew I had a gig on Friday. I still haven't recovered. I think I'm having a 3-day bender. Welcome to Life Theories with the everyone knows I'm in a rock band. This here, Wild Child. So they call me the Widowmaker in that one. So I got these. I've just got split personalities. And happy Halloween to everyone. I'm going to let people in on a secret. Diana is secretly Snow White. Don't tell anyone. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you. I mean, obviously, you can see I've just got. I just came back from a 3-day bender. No, I didn't touch a drop of alcohol either, ladies and gentlemen.
See, usually when people think of benders, when someone like me thinks of a bender, I have a little bit of different thing in mind. But you're just on a rock star. You're on a rock star bender. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a rock star bender. Ours is just having a great time. Having a great time with some friends, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll tell you, it actually goes into what we're talking about today. So tell us a little bit about Snow White. It means Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. In Australia today is Halloween, and my friend's coming out to play today. Yes, the incarnation of this toy. People probably think I'm absolutely mad. God, it's going to be an entertaining. God, I'm just going with the flow here. But yeah, tell us a little bit what's going on in your life, young lady. I mean, your TikToks are going off and really, really good. You're getting better and better every week.
Yeah, I know we've talked before about kind of going with the flow a little more, right? So before,
Yes.
I had kind of like set even things on my YouTube with my content, right? But like I was like, I'm doing inspirational stuff, in a mix of different topics, whatever I feel called at the time. But it seems like the stuff that for me that's going better is like the astrology stuff, like the new moons, like the 1010 portal, like stuff like Venus and Star. But those are really popping off a little more, and I do have an interest in that more. So the point is, and I'm not even trying to talk about my content on here, but just kind of like going with the flow, like kind of going where it takes me. I think sometimes we fixate too much on a certain outcome. We think everything has to be this way, or even sometimes I can get too focused on YouTube, but there could be other avenues that could be work out even better. It could be something more in alignment with me. Not to say I'm not going to do this anymore, but I'm just saying like there are other options to consider with the kind of stuff we're doing, and when we're looking for a life purpose or path or whatever. It could go in many different directions, and sometimes we have to be more open to the possibilities. There's a lot of different avenues the way that something could happen.
No, we're talking about going with what certain the bat belt of gifts, as I call it in my affirmations, which I write today. I am grateful for the bat belt of gifts, and ladies and gentlemen, everyone's got them. Okay, so we basically say it's like when you heal. What can you heal with? Crystals. You can heal with Reiki. You can heal with massage, myotherapy, whatever it may be, energy healing, whatever. But also when you're doing your awakening, as Diana said, I mean, you're really pushing the astrology side of things in the last few weeks, aren't you? And then sometimes you're talking about just grounding and all those things, but like universal law. Now you've gone into astrology, which has been awesome. So we all have that within us, don't we? We just go, we need this today. We need that today. What do you think about that?
Like everything was getting kind of like, it was the same. And I was even running out of video ideas. Sometimes you don't feel as inspired, right? And I was like, well, I'm actually really into astrology. And, there is a 1010 portal. Me and Joy did that meditation thing, right? So I was like, I have an interest in that. And a lot of people are interested in that. And I've been studying all that stuff for a while. I'm not saying I'm expert necessarily, but I have a pretty good understanding, and I actually like researching and see what's going on with the new moons, and and mixing that with astrology and cosmic events. So I kind of just tried put something out there, kind of just had more fun with it. I wasn't really like, oh, this has to be what I'm doing. It was just kind of like I tried something new that I'm interested in, and it seems like it did a lot better when I came more of a like from that energy, not all this like, oh, it needs to be this, oh, I have to make this kind of video every week. When you get into that, it's very rigid, and sometimes it kind of kills your creativity, right? Or you're not as inspired,
Do you feel like I wrote just shameless plug? I am in rockstar mode. Geez, I'm absolutely gibberish here today, but do you feel like I know with when I did Journey of a White Feather on YouTube, you can catch that right now. WWHealth 2000 Journey of a White Feather. Type that in. Um, I felt when I was writing my poetry and about when I was going through my awakenings, I was just writing about what came to me. It had absolutely no relevance of a story there. It's just basically this day this came up. Do you feel that with you? Do you feel that as well? Because I mean, I have that where I go, right, I'm going to write about this is about this, and then write about this just came up because it's relevant for the day. So it's sort of like what am I going to use to become better today? And I think that's what I'm finding. Well, obviously I'm following you closely, and you follow me closely, and we all follow each other. But do you find that as well? Because I mean, yeah, I think the other one you did this week was there was one on energy vampires, which I loved, and there's another one on the shadow. I think walking the shadow. I think was that right?
Yeah,
See, I
yes.
do watch everything. See, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's how you prove that you love your friends. You know, you watch their content all the time. We're both of us are just not losing control, but letting it go. I think it was one of those things where I was sort of forcing it through, and I
Yeah.
think exactly what you're saying. And I think we're both the bloody same. We're both as stubborn as each other in that way, where we want to go, oh, it has to be this way, like it's all
Yeah.
rigid. We don't do that anymore. I know you don't, because as I said, your videos are awesome, and what I've done with what I'm doing on my end is just going with it. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, the work we've been doing and where we've come through. And you know what, believe in what you want, but at the end of the day, it does happen. Have a look at us, but you sort of look at being in what I'm doing. Everyone looks at us. I had a lot of people. It's really interesting to say that people want to be what I was on stage the other night, but they don't see all the hard work that we do, practicing, and also all the stuff to get that show the way it is, to get that moment when you jump on stage. And the first moment is when you hit that first note, and then my mate's banging the drum, da 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 da, and we're standing there ready to go, and then we swing and hit, and then a couple of friends goes, you guys look bloody menacing, like when you came and go, oh, these guys are mad, look at these guys are crazy. But working with that, and then let's just stop practicing. It's what we're doing now. Like, you have to say, I said to the Life Theories crew, I mean, it wasn't for you guys as well. We ground each other. We help each other. When I talk, just having you guys in my life, it's amazing, because it's, we're on the same level. Whereas we go in society, we can go down that path if you want to, but there's a lot of people, as we've talked about, the veils come off and they're not coping in this. They're trying to hang on to things. They're trying to hang on to that life that they're doing. But we are shifting. We are shifting pretty heavily. And you can either go with the flow, or you can sit there and wait and go, hi, bye. You can stay there on the island, but we're just going to jump on that horse and off we go, And that's what we're doing. And if we fall off, we get back on.
I talk about, like, being an alchemist, making a situation that might not be exactly what we have in mind, or even a rough situation, maybe an unpleasant circumstance, to turn into something kind of cool and interesting. And I'm kind of just learning to do that. I also think we're in Scorpio season, right? Which is also about kind of alchemy, kind of like transforming even those darker emotions, kind of like raising
the fire phoenix
from the ashes. I think that's kind of what's gone through most of my life. Because once you start to do more shadow work and stuff, you notice you won't react as much to stuff, and you're more accepting of yourself, right? I'm not saying you're better than anybody that hasn't done it around and started, but I think it's a good time right now, because with all the frequencies coming in, the high frequencies, right? So as we've talked about before, anything that's lower, that's holding you back lower, is going to come up for awareness, and that's part of the whole, whatever you want to say, ascension, whatever, the raise in frequency, the consciousness shift. That's what it's about too, kind of letting go of these old paradigms. So to let go of it, you have to be aware of it, that it is even to begin with. And some people shove things down, right? They're not aware, or they avoid it, or they know there's something there that they need to work on, but they just keep suppressing, pushing it.
They don't know how to do it.
You have to think, we also have forces on this planet who are constantly putting us in a low vibration, in fear, in separation. Like, it's all, like, you look on social media, like, there's always a distraction with the celebrity, so they're always trying to have you like not look within, right? Look outside of yourself, like be distracted by all this drama. I got onto TikTok, right? I started kind of going down some rabbit holes. You know, I go a little out there sometimes. I was in the conspiracy TikTok thing, right? I started looking into that kind of stuff. I didn't feel good. I had one day I was going to do a video, right? And I was on conspiracy TikTok for a while. I think I was at work or kind of at home. I kept scrolling. Like, I literally couldn't get off the screen. I was talking to Sarah about this, how people have like phone addictions and stuff. You know, I'm always looking for memes for my Facebook group and my Instagram. I am doing business stuff on there. It's easy to mindlessly scroll, and that's what a lot of people in our society do. It's, you know, it's pretty common. But that conspiracy TikTok stuff, I started to not feel good mentally, because then I started to focus on all the negative things, or everything's a conspiracy. And I mean, and if you look around, you see a lot of evidence of it. But if you search for evidence of anything, you can kind of make it to be true, right? If you're focusing on, if you're looking for, oh, the government's doing this to us, or like poisoning us, or lowering our vibration, everywhere you look, you start to pay attention to that. But if you would focus on other things that are more positive, and there is also good and love and light too, but it's kind of like balancing both, but not going too deep down that hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go down that path about distractions. Right now, Michael McNair. Hello. Thank you for all your help for getting me on Friday, and so with you, Greg. Got on way out there, eh? But no, what I want to say about that is, they've made me look at what we're doing online, right? Now, you are absolutely 100% right about we can get distracted in what we do, but I don't think we do that because we have a purpose of people are going to say I'm full of it, but we have a purpose to do what we're doing online, and what we watch is where our mind's at.
Yeah.
Right? I mainly promote, as you know, I promote White Feather, I promote Wild Child, which is my band, and I do my phys ed stuff. You know, so I'm watching stuff like Jordan Peterson. I'm watching the Dow. I'm watching, watching Victor Otto and all those other guys, right? So I flick that on, but also I'm watching stuff to do with my band and stuff, and say what gets me into a vibration. So it's very funny. I'll just give you an example. Is there a favorite movie, right, that gets you into a good vibe? For example, I use Cocktail, right? So if I need to get into a vibe, we go back to the old programming, in a way that when we were children, if we were down, we got something that brought us up. Yeah. So for me, it would have been, say, music. Okay, I have this Sally Boyden album. She was a star back in the 70s and 80s. She was she was my age when I was back in the dinosaur era, and that. When I listen to that music, it takes me back. So I get that. I feel that energy, and it brings me up for the day, if that makes any sense, right? So we're still using that energy. We're using the good stuff that we were as children, to bring us up now. But also, when you're looking at a movie, for example, you keep going back to that because it changes your mental attitude. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I like what you're saying. I think we might have mentioned this before, but yeah, it's kind of like instead of triggering us into bad things, like some of the distractions that are out there do, you can also trigger yourself into a good thing. I think some people become addicted to like drama, stress, cortisol, right? Bad news, stuff like that. So we kind of have to reprogram ourselves to be interested, to have that as a happiness trigger, because that's the main problem with that. And look, even me, sometimes, like, I have horror movies, for example. I love horror movies, but some of
Me too. But Halloween, ladies and gentlemen.
I used to watch really, like, gory stuff, like stuff where body parts are chopped. I don't know, but I used to be really into that, and I was like, man, I'm having trouble liking, like, normal movies because I got so used to that. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but some of that stuff kind of stimulates your nervous system a little bit. Like, I was watching the Halloween marathon today. Michael Myers, my favorite movie serial killer.
I think you did right, because you have a look, ladies and gentlemen, look at the stuff that you go to, and as I said, you have to be aware of it, because you change your attitudes. As I said, I go back to when I thought when I was not happy, and I proved that right now, and I kept watching the Motley Crue Dirt movie, right? Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now take the position that I was in and the mindset I was in, and then telling myself, looking at Nicky Six, what he was doing. Oh, I'm going to be Nicky Six, yeah, rah, 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 rah. Listen to what I was coming out of my mouth. And then having that attitude. I went back and thought about it. I thought my attitude stunk. I thought I was like, I sit there like I'm thinking I'm a rock star now, right? But I'm in a good attitude. It's happy. It's making me happy. This thing here was killing me spiritually, and it could have actually ended it. As I said to you, I drank stupidly. I drank the Nikki Six stuff. I did. I went and thought I was Nikki Six
Yeah.
at that time. I saw it on the video, so I was looking for a happy place. But as you said, you get influenced the way your mind is, and then you get drawn to these things and the influence of where you are, you take those parts of the movie or those parts of the song, or I can see why they think video games are bad. All right, but it's where you're mentally at. But now I can watch it, go, that's fun. We go, oh, look at that, that's cool. Have a look at our attitude now. And that's the go with horror movies and stuff. We can watch a few horror movies, but we're in a different attitude. You and me could sit down and go have a laugh. Oh, look at that one. Oh, hang on. How'd they do that? Oh, geez, that's interesting. But we've got a better attitude now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we can go and watch, your Freddy Krueger's, your Terrifiers, your whatever else, and have a bit of a laugh. No, a bit. Yeah, okay. I do laugh at horror movies. So do you. I know you do. Um, but yeah, see, that's because we've done the work, and we can be influenced by what we're doing online, and they say, oh, you're in front of a screen. Yeah, we've got to get off the screen for fitness and all, and for all that, but you can see that we're really enthralled in what we don't look at. We're not looking at this and watching stuff that's not enhancing us in some way now. Have you noticed that?
I kind of like what I do now. Before I used to get a lot more like sucked into things and really let it take over me, whether that's people, shows, whatever, even music, right?
Mm.
But now I'm able to kind of dip in there, feel it a little bit, kind of get in there a little bit, but then I know when it's like, oh, you know what? This is really
Yes.
starting to make me feel this. So I just have awareness. I'm like, maybe I should change it to something else. But before, I
Yes.
couldn't do that. And that's even with food. I'm going to say food included. Like starting,
Yes.
as I would say, lower vibrational food, right? I can't eat
Yes.
most of the stuff I did. Like, I'll eat a little bit. I'll eat some pizza. I'll eat some, like I said, I'm not a vegan by any means. But there are certain foods that I used to eat a lot of, like now I can do a little bit and like step away, and even like sweets and stuff. I was never able to do that before. And the same with music. How certain music, you want to feel something, right? It gets you, maybe even makes you cry, or like puts you in like a lower, kind of like triggers you. And sometimes you get addicted to it and you can't stop listening to maybe like a certain like.
That's your vibe, though, isn't it, Di? That's your vibe at the time. I mean, I know that. I mean, I can
And it's
listen to
okay.
Sepultura.
It goes with the whole like addiction thing I had before, right? I didn't know when to stop certain things, right? They gave me a certain feeling, right? So it kind of goes this.
Yes.
I know when I'm like, oh, you know what? That's cool. I'll get in this vibe for a little bit, but I'm not staying here, and I'm not gonna let it like consume me.
That's why. Yeah, but that's why, like, as I said to you, I grab that. Like, people think, I listen to the damn Carpenters, I listen to Partridge Family and stuff, because it's a different vibe of the song, but it's where it's a nice vibe. It's just someone to break it up, you know, and even when I'm listening and practicing Wasp, I will stop that. You know what I mean? I just need to be in a different environment and different headspace. I know my mate was talking to me last night about what our next project on top of what we're doing now is. We have to look at something. We're going to go a bit higher, and we're looking at something different, which is going to be great. So we might start looking at that next couple of months. So have a meeting and stuff. But yeah, it's just, I think our vibe, and then the key word you're using is awareness. We are aware of everything now. We're aware, and we're triggered by stuff like, I mean, I don't know. I can't stand society the best of times. Let's be honest. I mean, I wish everyone all the best, but I don't want to be around it, because it's really, I'm becoming ultra sensitive to triggering people who sit there and who want to be us. And and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking from ego here. People want to be part of us because of where we're going. And I think but me and Diana, especially, as I said, we've run very, excuse me, run very similar lives in a way. We've let people take our spirit, and we want to be part of it. We want to be. They want to be. They've taken our goodwill and spirit and used it for themselves, and it's brought ourselves down. It's like having, kryptonite. Our kryptonite was given away. Was giving away our power. Now we've kept it, and people don't like it because they're not on that level, because they can't find it within themselves, and that's just the way it is.
And I think also, yeah, weird comment. I do understand it, and I think we need to make sure like it's okay to shine your light and to be your authentic self. And you know what? And you know what? I don't care if people are in a dark space, because you know what? I was in a dark space. I was there already. And you know what? I've seen both. I still embrace my darkness. I integrate my shadow. Like, I still have dark moments. It isn't like I post inspirational stuff, but some of it has a little bit of dark humor. You're like, I know how to kind of mix it. I know how to balance it a little bit. And I don't, and I get bored if I'm all love and light. I'm honestly bored with that, because I like to dabble in a little bit of, some darkness sometimes, or even,
Mm.
you know, go lower sometimes. I mean, like, because it's all about the balance. It could, because then once you see that, you kind of appreciate the other stuff more. I went through addiction. I went through all that stuff. I went through the lowest, like, dark night of the soul kind of stuff, and that's cool. And I'm not afraid to shine my light now, because I went through all that already. I did the work, and I don't really care. If it makes someone uncomfortable, they can just unfollow me, and I understand, but I'm not going to dim myself down, because I think what I'm doing is more beneficial to more people when I do step into my truth, and I say what I want to say, that, my inspired vision or whatever, or my downloads, right? To speak it. If I help that one person, that's all that matters. I'm not even looking at the numbers anymore. It's
Absolutely.
just like, if I
Yeah.
have one person, that one person that's uncomfortable, that gets triggered by all my posts, I might have to just remove them or something, because I see it's much more, and I can help so many more people. I'm not going to hold myself back because one person or if a few people can't take that I've, like, improved myself, and I'm not down the path I was before.
It's really weird. Like, obviously, I got out of the. Obviously, everyone
Energy
knows I was a pro
vampires,
wrestler.
man. We talk about them. Energy vampires.
We
Yeah.
talk about it. I mean, I'll go to the next step about forgiveness and moving on. Like this show I did on Friday, it took me back into my wrestling days. Okay, now I have a very itchy feeling. I have a bloody tip top feeling about Melbourne with wrestling, because I was, there was a lot of heat. They created a lot, and this is where the jealousy and everything came in. And I went to Sydney and fought and all that. Um, I went there, and there's a lot of people sort of like not had heat with, but they're sort of like, yeah, you know what? I just let it go.
Yeah.
I let it go. I took the dog, our family dog. He just was happy. He helped everyone. There's always, look. You never forget, but you don't hold on. And I learned that on Friday. I just realised I learned that on Friday. Just let things go. I did what I did. I was there to do a job, and they gave me a nice rallying reception, actually, which was really nice. You're back in the fold, and everyone. It was very flattering. I was, like everyone thinks people think I'm a bloody crazy egomaniac, but I'm not. I don't really like being publicly praised. I really don't. And I felt, oh yeah, no worries, thanks. I was there. My boys, it's about the band tonight, not just us, not just me. But it was really nice for them to say thanks for coming back and welcome back and all that. It was really nice from someone that there was conflict back in the day, but it's gone now. It's finished. It's done. And I think it's finished, and it was great. Not that you'll be going and have bloody dinner with these people, but it was nice. There's a healthy respect for both, and I said thank you, and it was a great lesson. And they were appreciative. I said, you enjoy what we did? He goes, yeah, absolutely. You bloody killed it. You guys smashed it. And it was nice in that way. And I just realised that was a big lesson that I did have. And I'm very grateful for it. My mate said to me, what happened when you went in there? He goes, nothing. Just, that's it. Look, there's certain people there you won't talk to again. That's fine, because they're just scumbags. Don't worry about that. But there was none of that. You don't talk to people you don't like them, or they've done something, and they still have no respect for you and all that. That's fine. I just don't have anything to that. But, you can, if they're happy, if bygones be bygones, you're not going to be best mates or anything, but bygones be bygones, and that's it. Done. And I'll tell you what, it was a weight off my shoulders, and it was a big lesson that comes from our family dog, who taught us that, just to let bygones be bygones. He was just a happy boy. And
I think it's
the
just like
philosophy of,
you kind of have to, like, no matter what, you have your vision in mind. You know what feels aligned at this point, or at least we do. Some people are still not sure, and sometimes it's okay to switch paths sometimes, and it's okay to change your mind. But I think you just have to stay on your path. People are going to fall off. People are going to not agree. Whatever. You just have to remember your why you're doing something, and just keep going, and just kind of allow whatever changes. There's going to be things that are in alignment that are just going to follow your life. And sometimes we try to keep things together, whether it's people, relationships, right? Even families. I mean, friendships, whatever, or jobs. It's like you're trying to fit your heel in the back of a shoe that doesn't fit anymore, and that's why it doesn't feel good, because it's like you're trying to force something that just it's not aligned anymore, and it just sometimes we have to allow things to go, but that can be hard, especially if it's people you've known for a while, or relationships, or even a job that you're just comfortable with, right? But sometimes it's just not. Sometimes certain things, you'll just realize it's easier to kind of let it go than to hold on.
Oh yeah, you have to. And look, there's deeper stuff there. Obviously, family's
Oh
a big
yeah,
one. Where
and
you
then
got
and also limiting beliefs, or you just have to kind of keep your distance. Or there's some people you have to, with some things you still have to interact with for whatever reason, or maybe a job for a little bit longer, until you figure out. Maybe there's always a transition.
well, I'm in
stage,
that
right? Whatever it
situation.
is, or relationships.
Yes,
Sometimes there's a time that's there's certain reasons you're together with somebody, or even friendships, or you have certain people maybe you just have to kind of limit your time sometimes if it's out of alignment, or just really lowers your vibrational line. You just gotta maybe distance yourself, set boundaries, and spend less
that's
time,
right.
and then make sure you
Yep.
focus on the things that you do want to do and you do like and that do bring you joy, so you're not stuck in that old paradigm, that lower,
Yes, that's exactly
lower
right.
vibration.
It's very funny like that because we talk about that and I think with and look, I find it like I know I'm in between jobs. I know, and the funny thing is this: I I look back the last 3 years, what happened, and the universe did do what I had to do. I mean, there were certain things that I had to learn, but also the universe tells you, like I was really comfortable and happy in my job, but if I'd stayed in there, not that it was bad, like a couple of years ago, that if I hadn't done the big, like I thought it was the worst thing in the world, but it actually has turned out to be a great thing. And people have to realize that that's what the awareness is all about. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you if that moment hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to look back on those big things, and I wouldn't be where it is, but I was. Now there's a lot of lessons I've got, and he's probably smiling, go, "Yeah, I got, yeah, yeah. Now you realise, you cheeky bugger, yeah, yeah, yeah." And go, but look, upstairs understands whatever happens, whatever awareness you've got, they know there's a processing time.
Yeah.
You're not going to process, you're not going to accept that thing for what it is. You have to. There's multiple reasons for something happening, and ladies and gentlemen, if you think the answer's coming to you straight away, you're bloody kidding yourself. It took me bloody 3 years to work out why that happened, and now I can see this. I mean, I wouldn't be wearing this and playing that if that hadn't happened. There's a process of your purpose coming out, and you have that inner purpose within you, but you're only doing it's like Tom Cruise says, you're only doing this day job or whatever to prepare you for your real gig. When he was sitting on the boat with Elizabeth Shue, sitting there contemplating life like we are, and they say that your pure purpose is coming, but you've got to go through what you're going through to get to that life purpose, and then you'll move from there.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Today is Halloween, my Christmas. Oh, I have fun at Halloween. We know about some of the history of All Hallows Eve, but we know one thing: the veil between the spirit world again and our physical world is thin, and legends say that they come through to help. There's spirits that come through to help and do whatever they have to do. So, we're being aware of it. We can attract to those spirits that come towards us to assist. I think that's where they come with the bonfire. I have to look it up anyway, but go and look up the history of Halloween. It's really an interesting thing. But I know that one's a big one, and obviously that's what's going to happen today. I think that being spiritual with what we're doing and having awareness, we know that the veil is going to be is thin today, and those spirits are coming through by tradition, urban myth, however you want to put it. But we can embrace that in what we're doing today.
I think also with the veil being thin, also things manifest a lot quicker. So
Yes.
also be mindful of what you're speaking into existence. I have multiple situations, weird things that have happened recently with me and my brother. My brother's not even like a spiritual person, but he's learning
Yes.
from us and stuff, right? Watching our stuff, and he's learning all this terminology. He probably thinks we're nuts, but it's pretty funny. Actually.
No, he doesn't.
Honestly, I think at some level he agrees with it. But we were talking about how he has some things he's been saying in like then it happens like that. I was like, see? I was like, I'm not lying. See, I'm always trying to prove to him. I keep using examples through, I'm like, see, that's because of this, I think some people get turned off when you use too many like labels and terminology, but if you just kind of explain it in like a real life example, sometimes you gotta just bring it back down to earth for people to understand, because people that aren't very spiritual, if you use all these terms like 3D, 5D, and ascension, all that stuff, some people, and like light code, some people, like, we understand what that is, but like some people might be like turned off and they think it's a bunch of woo stuff. But I find a way to explain to people, just kind of bringing it down, like giving a real life example, or like maybe getting rid of some of the labels, just so it's something's different frequency, different vibration, different energy. What I mean? Sometimes I kind of just break it down a little more so it's easier to grasp sometimes.
Do you think we get? Do you think people get too involved in get too invested in certain words?
Oh yes,
certain things.
yes.
I just think that let's get obsessive with it.
Well, when you label something, you're defining it, and you don't know what kind of image someone has in their head of that. Like, sometimes someone is understanding everything right, and they actually are in agreement with it. But then the second you put in some like big label, and it might be because of something they've seen elsewhere, or a judgment they have, or like it could be from anywhere, right? But sometimes it can kind of turn people off. So I'm not saying you shouldn't say what you think. I'm not saying you should say whatever you want to say. But for us to do the kind of work we're doing and explain to people and teaching people, sometimes I find it easier. Like my brother, for example, he's someone that's not spiritual. So if I start using all those terms, like, he's probably gonna just give me a look. But I notice when I remove that label and I say, well, this is because of this, and it's a shift in something like an energy. When I kind of just break it down into simpler terms, it's sometimes people, they're not so turned off by it. I just find it's easier to sometimes teach people that aren't into all that stuff, who want to learn more, kind of just break it down a little more and explain it in a different way, because you have to look at some of the stuff that you see on, whether it's YouTube or whatever website on the internet, right, where you go into some spiritual stuff, you go down some rabbit holes, right? It can be overwhelming for some people and turn people off. And I'm not saying you should filter yourself by any means, but I just find it easier to kind of maybe shift the way I explain it depending on who I'm talking to about it, who my audience is, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
My brother's actually helped me a lot, because he's someone that's not, and I've actually got him to understand some of the stuff that we even talk about, because he said, he's like, when I watch your videos, you guys are all nodding and you're talking about all this, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, when we're, like, for instance, when we did the Akashic Record one with Jackie, right? To someone that has no idea what the Akashic Records are, or pendulum dowsing or anything, and I'm learning too, I'm not an expert in that stuff, I think it's interesting, but he just said, so I like to see it from the perspective of people that aren't as spiritual, because I also want to help some other people understand more, and I think some people just don't understand, or they can't connect with it because they can't understand it. So if we can explain it in a way that's a little bit easier for them to understand, they might be more, prone to, like, I don't know, looking into that.
Yeah, no, I know
more,
what you're saying.
Look, I think it's yeah, and I think the little spiritual thing, it really is just, how are you connecting with your divine self, with your higher self, like with who you truly are. It's, people, it doesn't always have to be some woo-woo things, like, it can be whatever it means to you, whether some people just do it through more like meditation, some people do more energy healing, some people go into tarot card, everyone has different methods, but it could just be just simply connecting with your divine self, kind of just being present and like, kind of listening, following your intuition. Like, it doesn't always have to be some like out there thing. And I think some people have trouble connecting because I think they have the expectation that like it needs to be this out there thing because they see YouTube channels like that, they see on social media, but it doesn't have to be like that,
But they don't have the awareness of it. I mean, how much work is it to put one of these things together? They don't realize the work that we put it together and the work we've done to get to this point. It's not just it's not like we did life theories and just jumped up and did a podcast, right? Like that. Well, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to podcast. We will be podcasting next year. There's a guarantee, right? But look at the work of the journey that it took us years to get to where we are right now. People just don't get it. I don't think anyway. Because they don't understand it, because, I think we're being conditioned. I always make reference to the people who sit in their four walls, go to work, you go and do what's so-called normal life, and they look at us creative artists and they think we're friggin' mad because we're outside the matrix, but they all wish they were us. I know that because I see it. And this certain individual, couple of individuals that I know, that you can feel the vibe off them. It's just like, oh, I've got to do this, and I'm a robot, and but I wish I could be you. And not because of me, because I'm a hero, because of what we're doing, the energy we are in. You probably get that a lot. Especially being a female, I reckon you get that a lot.
I just kind of do my own thing, and I think from where
You
I
ignore
came,
it a lot, don't you? You ignore
I
it.
just
You're
don't
better
really
than me.
care. I mean, I don't get as much as I thought I would get because I think people saw where I came from, when I with the addiction stuff and how much I've just made such a transformation and some people and of course I with my mom recently. So since things happened with my mom, no one has said any people have been just kind of back because that's some traumatic stuff, but I don't know. I just make it more natural. I don't make it some big thing. I'm kind of just sharing my thoughts or memes or videos. It's just all whatever download I'm getting. Or just something I experienced in the recent. I'm kind of just sharing, making it more natural, making it more just real, authentic. I'm just it's more of a natural. It doesn't feel like I'm doing something crazy or something really out. It's become my comfort zone now. So because I've done it so much, whether it's we all make posts, we make videos, we do this, right? We have different ways we do it. We help people, inspire people, just sharing where we're at and what's helped us, and it's just become more natural. It doesn't feel like some big thing anymore. It's just who I am now. It's part of who I am now.
Absolutely. I'm yeah, because we're now doing what we are purposely supposed to be doing. And I think the changes that we're going with the change and just accepting, right, you will be okay. So how do you cope? How do you, because I have some comments and think, how do you cope when you know it's the end of something, of a cycle, but you have to hang around for a little bit and go, oh, God, I got to do this. You've had that die. What do you reckon? What did you do? Because you're better than me. You just go, oh, bugger you. Yeah, bloody bugger off.
I'm in the
You're
same.
very good. You're very good at it.
Well, because with the addiction stuff, right? I had to go away for a little bit, the treatment, to get some help. So yep. I knew it was the end of the cycle, but I knew there was more that I needed to learn in the process. That's part of the transformation. Yes. I did learn a lot, but that's kind of a little bit different from because that was like a rock bottom thing and kind of coming. That was like Dark Night of the Soul kind of thing. But this, I'll give example with my living situation. My mom passed. I'm living here, family. There's a lot of it's ugly because of what happened. So I'm working through it, and I'm looking at apartments online, even houses. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm planning, and that's probably not until maybe even the spring or summer. We'll see. I don't want to put a time frame on it because then it's going to pressure me, but I am looking for that. So I have all this vision of, I want to live here and get this place and do this, and financially I'm saving a little more. So I am kind of, making the most of the situation. But part of me is like, I don't want to be here. Oh, man, I just want to leave. This is where my mom passed. All this energy's here, blah, blah, blah with my dad. I always have a weird relationship with him and a lot of inner child stuff I'm kind of working on, right? And luckily, me and my brother are cool, but it's like part of me just wants to move on to the next because I believe this cycle's done. My mom passed, all right, but it's not quite done because there's a reason I'm still here and there's more stuff I need to work on. I'm also helping my family through it. I want to be supportive to a certain extent. It happened, 2 months ago? But there is part of me every day I'm like, I want to be in this apartment, I want to be here. But when I do that, I'm not enjoying the present moment because I'm too much in the future. Like, when I get this apartment or house, wherever I'm gonna be living, But then it kind of destroys the present moment and it actually takes energy away from me making the present moment better, from doing things to make the present moment better or to even prepare me for when that does happen, because I'll find myself spending a little more money than I want to because, I'm not happy here, so I want to spend that. But that's the whole thing about me moving out. I'm saving more money while I'm here, so I'm more comfortable financially, when I move out and stuff. So it all kind of goes together, but I'm kind of just accepting where I'm at. I'm just finding the joy in where I'm at. There are some pros to being here. It's nice I don't have to pay rent at this exact moment.
That's right.
It's nice that I can actually save up some money. I don't have this huge chunk taken out of my bank account every month. I have opportunity to save money to stabilize myself a little bit. And I do have a little extra money to do things I want to do. And, and my mom isn't in the house anymore, but, so we do, and it is a decent house, to live in. It's not mine. But I do enjoy being with my brother and stuff. I'm spending more time with him, strengthen my relationship with him, right? And we're kind of helping each other out a little bit. Even my dad, I mean, he can be a pain, but he's a little bit of a narcissist. But kind of learning how to. But because I'm living here temporarily, I'm learning how to deal with narcissism, deal with a narcissist, and to kind of put boundaries between people. Because if I can deal with someone that's difficult like that, I can deal with anyone. Like, really, I'm not really worried about anyone else, Once you deal with, like, some hard stuff, like when I'm dealing with, everything else seems easy, So there's a lesson in it, and, we're always programmed to, like, happiness is over there, right? It's in the future, it's over here, it's not where I'm at. So I'm kind of learning, this lesson is teaching me is, no matter what's going on out there, that's going to change eventually. I'll get there. It's just not right now when I want it. It's not instant
now. It's just called patience, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're dealing with difficult situations. You know that you're ready to move on. You're ready, right? But there's a reason why it hasn't. You're not quite there. And whether that's 6 months, a year, whatever it is, you just have to kind of make the most out of the situation. And sometimes you can learn the most in the toughest situations, or, you can actually learn the most and transform the most. That's like when I went to the rehab place too, right? I was sitting there for 4 months. You think I wanted to be there? And that was a lot of heavy work, and I didn't feel good mentally, physically, nothing like that. And but I learned the most there. Now I look back on it, I actually have things about being there that I liked that I don't have now. You know what I mean? I actually learned a lot of coping skills. I was in the mountains. I was in like a nice house. I didn't have to work. I was kind of just chilling. I mean, I had to do a lot of inner work, shadow work and stuff, but and get a lot of like intense therapy and stuff, and get my brain back to normal. But I did learn a lot. So in every experience, even the ones that are the worst or your most miserable, you can sometimes look back and say, actually, I did like this. Oh, I actually had this going for me here. Why didn't I was focused on the wrong things,
Yes.
You were focused in a negative way.
I get where you're going. Look, I think you're doing a great job. And I've learned always, and my for me, what helps me out is you don't take it as shit.
Nah.
And you're very direct in what you're doing, and I think that's a great.
Man. And to live in my area, like the people here are so, because I'm in the metro area, I'm right close to the nation's capital, right? So the people, it's very fast paced. You kind of have to toughen up a little bit, honestly. I'm in the suburbs, but I'm close, not too far from the city, like 20, 30 minutes from the city, right? But I got used to being with. This is like super matrix, like everyone's in traffic and rush hour, right? Going to the nation's capital to work, right? So like I'm used to kind of being with like difficult people, people that are more fast-paced and more aggressive. Everyone's very aggressive in this area, even the way they're driving on the road. I'm just driving on a Sunday, right, to go get this Halloween costume. I was trying to improve my Halloween costume, and, like, everyone's all in a rush, honky, like, and I can realize why my nervous system got the way it did, right? Like, all kind of, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you think things are threats, and people are doing crazy things. It's a mix of people where I live. I'm not saying I'm in some ghetto area. I'm not. I mean, I've been in areas like that through my bad stage of my life, but I chose to go in those areas. But but I'm saying,
no, but
I just got used to dealing with. I can be tough, but see, that's where the masculine energy I kind of use. That I can step into that a little more. But I am learning that I can still be in crazy environments or challenging environments and still step into my feminine energy too. I don't always have to step into be tough, be more in the masculine energy and be aggressive. I can still sit back a little bit and just kind of allow people to do what they do, and it's nothing to do with me anyway, just kind of keep my, make sure I'm good, like as a female, make sure I'm protected.
Keep your distance, yeah.
Like I kind of be aware of what's going on, because you don't know, but I just kind of learn to kind of balance it in. I'm kind of used to dealing with crazy energies, to be honest. I'm kind of used to chaos. I mean, I got comfortable being in a lot of chaotic situations. So I actually thrive more when there's chaos, because I got used to it, being in situations like that. And I think that helps us with what we're doing, right? The kind of stuff we're doing, because we're going to deal with people that are probably need a lot of help and going through some darker times, but we can relate to them. We can help people because we've been through, we and you have different experiences, but we still have been through darker stuff, and all you have to be is one step ahead of someone to help somebody. If you got through something that someone else can't get through, no matter what level it is, you are still adding value and able to inspire and help them. Hey, you got through this person can't. Here, let me help you. This is what got me
experiences through. Are better. Experiences are so undervalued these days. You have to have a piece of paper for friggin' everything. But we've been through what we've been through, and we've actually experienced it where we can say, this is when we needed a counsel. This is when we needed something, right? And well, thank you very much for this lovely chat with lovely Starfire, a.k.a. Snow White. Can't wait to see the photos. have a great Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on Life Theories. If you want to catch us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and every other platform, you can go on Trailblazers of the Universe with Diana. We've got our soul mother, Pixie, Raven, whatever other name I want to call her. She's probably sitting there loving it. Get this right. Small Sarah, Big Soul. Got it. So you got Sarah in Canada, and also the big fella Batman, Cortez Medford, Spiritual Needs TV over in the UK. Love to see you again, brother. I'll talk to you soon, but jump on his Spiritual Needs TV channel. Oh, there we go. And make sure you comment, like, guys. Hit the bell for notifications. Make sure you subscribe. We've got some great stuff happening. And thank you so much for all your support. I know people are watching this and they're enjoying it. Mr. Bray White will say goodbye. There's it's systematic. It's systematic. This is another character I play. It's Funhouse Bray, who's a TV presenter. Long story. Go look him up. Firefly Funhouse, Alexa Bliss and Bray White. You'll see what I'm up to. Anyway, get out of that. Have a great Halloween, guys. So thanks, Snow White. We'll see you next week.